Law Simplified with Justice is anchored by Justice Maduforo. Tice Madox Solicitors is results-oriented, but with a distinctive approach tailored to our clients' needs in our specialist fields: immigration law, criminal law, employment law, commercial law, family law, and contracts law. We are well equipped in our litigation and advocacy for the benefit of our clients, corporates, and individuals. Why not visit us at 5 Oakfield House, Oakfield Road, Ilford, London, IG1 1EF. We are just 15 minutes from Liverpool Street Station. Tice Madox Solicitors. Try us. We are professional.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Law Simplified with Justice. I am Justice Maduforo. I am a solicitor of the Supreme Court of England and Wales, or the Senior Court of England and Wales. I'm also a barrister and solicitor of the Supreme Court of Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, you know that I am Police Station and Magistrate Court Duty Solicitor of England and Wales, accredited, licensed, and authorized by the Ministry of Justice to represent you from the police station to the Magistrate Court to the Crown Court in all sort of serious criminal matters, free of charge, paid for by the government. And by the way, this firm is legally aided for any criminal matters from the police station stage out to the Magistrate Court, to the Crown Court, to the Court of Appeal, to the Supreme Court. You can get bespoke and thorough representation from Tice Madox Solicitors on legal aid for criminal matters only. Ladies and gentlemen, you know I'm a specialist when I'm discussing some things I discuss with you on this telecast, on this platform, more especially when I discuss on topics here. And what I introduce on this topic on this platform are not just the topics that are on the basis that you will act on them. No, they're the topics that I bring on the basis that it will kickstart your consciousness so that you can come to Tice Madox Solicitors with the details on there for me to take detailed instruction. Detailed instruction is like a GP examining you, ladies and gentlemen. And on that note, will I now be able to represent you in your own interest? In your own interest, especially giving you thorough representation, advocacy, and litigation. This is Tice Madox Solicitors, and this program is Law Simplified with Justice, signposting you to Tice Madox Solicitors. On this platform, I discuss immigration, contract, criminal, employment, in all areas, commercial litigations and contracts, advocacy. These are my key skills, and you take advantage of them, ladies and gentlemen. And you know that whatever I discuss here, they are not legal advice. Therefore, on that note, I must warn that whatever you hear me speak on this platform or my discussants and my guests on this show, they are not legal advice. Therefore, do not act on them. But first of all, come seek proper legal advice before you can act on what I then tell you. Because by then, I must have tailored your matter, your circumstances, the way it should be, take detailed instruction from you, advise you accordingly. On that note, you can run with whatever you hear me speak and advise you on. Ladies and gentlemen, we are 21st century firm, which means we are thoroughly professional when you engage us, when you come to us. We are thoroughly professional and we are firm in our professionalism to ensure that you understand the advice given to you, you understand the stages which we are taking in your matter as the step goes back in all the areas of law you can see on this on the screen. Let me crack on today. You know that I bring very juicy topics, kickstarting your consciousness. I bring topics that you are experiencing. I bring topics that are physical. Bring topics that are tangible. I bring topics that you have gone through, you are going through, you had gone through, and somebody else is going through that you know. Why? Because as a specialist in my field and in my skills, I see this in the field, in the court, in practice, and therefore I bring it to you to kickstart your consciousness so that you don't make the mistake of engaging someone else who is not specialist or who is not thorough in your application, and then you end up spending double to rectify or to go through that same process again. The essence of this program is that you do it once and you catch it once. You're victorious once. That's why it's a one-stop shop. Litigation, advocacy, representation, advice that you can always rely on. Let me tell you, legal work is not as you think it is. Some of you think it's a DIY. No, they are not. And especially those of you who think that you can cut short by, spending less in where it is not the right way for you, and you end up doing it again. Why would you go through that? Ladies and gentlemen, this telecast directs you to the firm that you can drop your work on our table and you can go sleep soundly. Let me introduce my topic today. I'm discussing immigration today, and my topic today is immigration leave to remain pending appeal. Immigration leave to remain pending appeal. What do I mean by that? You may ask me. Now, some of you make application, and let me specify this. This topic relates to those who have already made application, especially those who are going through appeal process. Some of you watching, or your words, or your family, your children, or whoever, your friends, neighbors, even your enemies, one way or the other, you are aware that you are going through immigration appeal process, even if you don't know, and you have the feeling that they may be appealing their case. Now, there are different types of those who appeal cases, those who appeal it on their own, those who appeal through representations, those who do it themselves. They just call it litigants in person. Now, they have serious issues when they do that themselves. And it depends on the complexity of the matter which they are running through. Especially in immigration, where you have to go from one stage to the other stage, and some of them, because they represent themselves, as they get it wrong from the beginning and they begin to apply for permission going forward, you can see that they're only complaining what the judge say rather than focusing on the issue, focusing on the point which the court will be engaged in. Otherwise, complaining doesn't engage the court. Complaining about how the judge looked at you, or interrupting you, or saying some certain things that are not in any way substantial, in any way to come between, to come in through the appeal, then you may get it wrong. That's why when you engage us from the beginning of your application, of your appeal process in court, we begin to infuse certain things that will go wrong, certain things that may come under the auspices of error of law, point of law, of which we can now expand and appeal, assuming that your appeal was not successful at the first stage. But we always want to guarantee that our appeal process, our appeals that we handle, go through the first-tier tribunal successful, even if it is not. Therefore, we are armed ourselves to deal with it in upper tribunal, because we've equipped and laid a solid foundation that can ride us through immigration leave to remain pending appeal. Ladies and gentlemen, the reason I say that is that some of you make applications, some of you in this country through different sort of means to remain in this country. Some of your means to remain here vary from your point-based system all the way to your discretionary leave to remain, all the way to spouse marriage or spouse applications, settlement applications, residence, EEA residence application, or whatever sort of application you made at a time of which you had leave to remain pending, or you had leave to remain when you now made another application, either number one, to extend that existing leave, or number two, to switch away from that leave to a different category of leave. For instance, point-based system applicants, and you have now been on this as a student all throughout, and thereafter you now switch to appeal, to apply no longer under the student roof, but now either as a partner of a British citizen, or partner of an EU citizen, or dependent or EU citizen, or whatever category you are switching away from. Some of you switching from student to settlement. You're switching from a student, or from indefinite leave to limited leave to remain to indefinite leave to remain, or you're switching from limited leave to remain on a discretionary basis back to another point-based system, or any form of work permit or thereabout. Whatever category you are switching, this is not the main gross of this discussion. The issue is that you already have existing leave to remain. Now, you now want to move and switch. You now made the application. You now made the application before that leave expired. Some of you make this application 28 days before leave expires, 15, 10, whatever it is, before your leave expired, you have made the application. And some of you even make this application thereabout. So I'm going to concentrate on when you lodge your application before your leave to remain expires. Now, some of you always have this difficulty to understand that when your leave to remain expired and you have made the application before it expired, And what is your immigration status? Some of you think your immigration status is still ongoing. Some of you make this application in a space of time. The Home Office makes the decision, and that decision you may think it is not or does not affect your existing leave to remain or pre-existing leave to remain before you made or prior to you making the application. Now, some of you think your leave to remain continues. Now, it is very important for you to understand. That's why I said this. Immigration, as simple as most of you think and deem it to be, they are regulated by parliamentary laws, and these laws have its own flaws. These laws have its own amendments. These laws are subject to appeals and repeals, are subject to interpretation, are subject to further amendment by the same parliament that made it, or by way of guidance or policy, giving the Home Office the right to amend them, or even by a case law that has been turned out, of which that mandates that the Home Office will have to amend the existing policy or guidance which they have been using to guide them make decisions in your application. Now, the essence is that once they have made those changes and you would unknowing that this has taken effect, make your application and believing that your leave to remain is still existing. Now, that's where difficulty comes in. And most of you have gone through that, of which that you may be running blindly to continue to appeal that the Home Office said you don't have leave to remain. Some of you that come to my firm after you represent yourself, and when I look at the work you've done, is it either you have veered off the road and start navigating through other aspects that is unknown to law, unknown to the Home Office, unknown to the policy and guidance, unknown to the rules. But in your head, you believe that that is the way it ought to be. That is why you need a solicitor and a firm like Tice Madox Solicitors to guide you to understand what your case is all about. Now, some of you don't understand that your leave to remain may actually have expired, even though you lodged your application when it was still existing. It's technical, isn't it? Let me also tell you, because this is a decision of the Court of Appeal. This is a decision from the upper tribunal to the Court of Appeal. That make it strong. That is why I said to you, in issues of your immigration application, do not look at the fund you will spend and run and do it yourself when you get it wrong, and because your mindset is not tuned to the law, and because you think the application forms are thick and go. Sometimes it doesn't. And when it provides you with such challenges, you are in great difficulties, because either that you have made the application wrongly and your leave has expired, you return back with no leave to remain. The crucial point is to ensure that your existing right to remain in this country continue to run even when you lodge application or switch from one category to another category. I will guide you. I will advise you when to switch, when not to switch, whether the right application you are switching over is correct or not. More especially, some of you will switch from your existing leave to dependent on your father, your mother, your brother, your sister, your husband, your wife, and whatever category you're switching on, without understanding the intricacies, the thin line that will either hold your application or will be your undoing. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll take a quick short break. I'll return, and I'm still talking on immigration, leave to remain, pending appeal. Don't change the dial. I remain Justice Maduforo.
Tice Madox Solicitors is results-oriented, but with a distinctive approach tailored to our clients' needs in our specialist fields: immigration law, criminal law, employment law, commercial law, family law, and contracts law. Tice Madox Solicitors. Try us. We are professional.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Law Simplified with Justice. I told you that your leave to remain, your pre-existing leave to remain, prior to you switching to another category of leave to remain, may either continue to extend your leave to remain or will extinguish it, that you no longer have leave to remain. And I'm saying this because categories of you that have come to my firm transferring your document for your papers or file from other firms, or you have done it yourself. And when you got stuck, you knew very well that you are now running blindly. It is very easy to run blindly. It is very easy and very simple to run blindly, believing that you're on the right path. And that is catastrophic, especially when you have now veiled off, which now affects your existing leave to remain, which now affects and which now shows that you have now exhausted your right to remain in this country. And you're thinking that your leave to remain is still ongoing, but it has stopped. It has finished. And that is the problem. And then when you now continue to write, when the Home Office writes down your history, your immigration history, and they will show that you have exhausted your right of appeal or exhausted your leave to remain. Some of you take offense. Some of you take that challenge up. By your own calculation, you believe that your leave to remain continues. But it is not. Why am I saying that? Yes. Now, under Section 3C of the Immigration Act of 1971, gives you existing right to continue to remain in this country when you have switched or when you are applying to extend your leave to remain, either extending it on the same category, or you're extending it, or you are switching. Listen, you may switch from one category to another category. That is switching. You may extend from the same category into the same category. Now, you are not going to be extending, ladies and gentlemen, let me throw this bomb at you quickly now. You may not, and it may shock you what I'm about to say now. You may not be able to make an application which will take you, ladies and gentlemen, stay focused with me now. You may not be able to say you are switching from an application to another application when you are just merely on discretionary leave to remain. So, meaning, if you are on limited leave to remain, ladies and gentlemen, you are on limited leave to remain, ladies and gentlemen, you may not be able to say that you are switching from one leave to remain to the other leave to remain. You are still in the same leave because remember, you're on discretionary leave. And because it's discretionary leave does not guarantee you to extend. It only merely opens up another fresh avenue to make another application based on the same discretion. So you may either be refused or you may be granted. And when you get granted, that is not an extension. When you get granted, that shows that your discretion given to you has now been extended. You are not extending your leave to remain, but the discretion has been extended. Now, that goes to another way where you are now applying to extend your leave to remain based on the fact that you are on one point-based system, for instance, a point-based system. You are now about to extend it to the same point-based system within the law, within the rules, within immigration rules, to the same category, either to further your education or further your studies or further the fact or make an application for extended leave based on your spouse relationship or applications within the rules. Now, these are two different categories, ladies and gentlemen. Now, you could actually find yourself without leave to remain. Because I'm saying that because almost 4 applications have just been transferred to me, which I'm working on, and I have told clients this is the position. And this is where they got it wrong. The leave to remain had expired, but they continue to apply from appeal to judicial review, not knowing that it has ceased. It has ceased. What am I saying? I mentioned to you that Section 3C of the Immigration Act of 1971 gives you that leverage to carry on your leave to remain, your existing leave to remain. When your leave expires and you apply within time, it carries on. Some of you know that. It's like a song to you. It's like a sermon to you. You already know that. Now, let me tell you. The introduction of Immigration Act of 2014, the introduction of Immigration Act 2014 made amendments to Section 3C of the Immigration Act of 1971. That was the amendment. That amendment is very silent, very unknown. And the Home Office have latched onto it to now begin to remove, make decisions not knowing fully well that you're not aware of this. And especially they do that when you represent yourself, because it's very silent. And you drag the matter to the upper tribunal, to the Court of Appeal, you won't succeed, because that is the law. 2014 Immigration Act of 2014 amended Section 3C. So some of you are still running on the basis that my leave to remain expired, especially when a decision is made by the Home Office before your leave to remain expired. Now, let me tell you, if you are in the verge of extending your leave to remain, or switching from one category to the other, on listening to this, or you know whoever is doing that, I want you to just tell them to just pick up the phone, make an appointment to come and see me. Make no mistake to make that application, because it will be a catastrophic error for you going further, and you may not be able to rectify it. It will only cost you consultation fee to do that and get the right information so that you stay in the right path. But if you don't, but simply because you know it all, simply because you feel you can do it yourself, by no means, please proceed. But I will tell you that you will return back and you listen to the sound of my voice, listen to and play this same telecast, and you will know that if you had taken the instructions I pass over to you today to seek proper legal advice before you make that application to extend your leave to remain or to switch from one category to the other, because this is the Supreme Court, the upper tribunal and Court of Appeal decision now making the fact that your leave to remain would definitely must have stopped at a certain point in time. What point is that? You want to know. And that's why you pick the phone to come to Tice Madox Solicitors for me to advise you accordingly. Make that application for you that you are in the right path. You don't do these immigration applications twice, you know. In your lifetime, in your existence in this country, probably 2, 3, 4 times you do it. Out of 15 years you will spend in this country, or 20 years or thereabout, or 5 years for instance, you only do this application, say 2, 3, 4 times. Now, why would you not want to do it once, those 2, 3, 4 times, scaling through it in the normal process, then coming back to now make applications and rectifying the judicial reviews, the processes that may take you ages to rectify? Probably you may not be able to rectify because you have already got it wrong from the foundation. The foundation is where I'm very key about. That is why I keep telling you, foundation is a key place to either determine success of your application or determine that your application does not hold any water. My purpose as a solicitor, as a competent solicitor, as a competent firm that will advise you rightly is to ensure your foundation is solid so that any application you make going further will be sustained, will be sustainable, and will come out victorious. Ladies and gentlemen, take opportunity, take advantage of this telecast, you know. Take advantage. Pass the telephone number to people around you. Why? Because you're coming to the right place. The right solicitor that understands your case. They understand the intricacies involved in immigration applications. Not only immigration applications, in employment tribunals. Some of you that have dealt with employment tribunal in employment appeal tribunals that are watching this program, you can testify how successful your case has been against your employers. You can say to that. Some of you have dealt with your contract, renegotiated your contract, you know, and redrafted the contract you're going into, whatever contract it is. You know that. You're watching me because I read your emails. You're always grateful for the fact that you have sought the right advice and it has saved you quite a lot going forward in the future. This is a country whereby if you don't get it right, you find in many, many years to rectify them. And so get it right once. Don't make those mistakes, because this is a country of laws. And your ignorance is not an excuse. Your ignorance, neither is it a defense. It can only be a mitigation, but such mitigations may not in any way save you. So in any way, stay in the right format, stay in the right path, especially some of you who are non-nationals, who are residing here, because this is a land of law, this is a country that is built upon the law. You must make sure that you tread softly and rightly by engaging with solicitors and firms that understand how to guide you step by step, either in your immigration, employment, even when you're going through criminal matters. Do not get dismayed because you are charged to court. Now, it only gets sorted because we will sort you out. Tice Madox Solicitors will sort you out in that criminal proceedings. From police station stage, don't say nothing. Just pick up the phone, get the custody sergeant, get the officer in the case to contact Tice Madox Solicitors and to take over your matter at the police station, magistrate court, crown court. I tell you something, you will be glad that we have represented you in your best interest. And that's what I stand for. That's my signature. That's the signature of this firm. Time does not permit me to keep on rolling on these topics, but I have merely introduced this topic today, which is immigration leave to remain pending appeal. I've told you there are changes in Section 3C of the Immigration Act of 1971, amended by the Immigration Act of 2014. And also, that has been confirmed by the upper tribunal cases, which confirm that your leave to remain at a certain point in time will vanish, will be exhausted, will cease, will finish at a certain stage, even when you have in your head that idea or that belief that your leave to remain is still ongoing, but it has actually stopped. Why? Some of you have done this yourself, and that's the problem. Because we are on point. We research the laws. We are out there in the field arguing before the right judges, before the senior judges, and we are getting the right information. And that's why we pass it over to you. But you have to pay consultation fee when you book an appointment to see me in the office. That's why, because you are receiving expert knowledge. Expert fees must be paid. And that is what it is. Do not get thinking because you spend so much place, so place, and you feel you can't. No, you don't need to go anywhere. This firm just will sort you out from the beginning to the end. That you pay nobody anymore. You pay no other firm, no other representative, and you would stick to the firm that would continue to handle your case in the right way. Not only in immigration, the stages which I roll out here is simply telling you that when you come to this firm to handle your immigration, criminal, employment matters, family matters, contract matters, advocacy in court, in county court, in any tribunal that you're going through, even in professional matters. Some of you who are doctors going through professional issues and on contractual issues and disputes, you know the firm that can sort you out, guide you, deal with the issues. Issues is what we rely on. And from the issues which will throw up, we will destroy it by presenting it in your own interest to favor you. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to go further again because time is not on my side. But I always speak this with great emotion because I know that somebody listening out there will be saved, will be emancipated, will be set free when you come to this firm to handle your matters, especially in immigration application that I'm talking about now, or to those of you in employment and matters I've discussed with you already, in criminal matters, you know we will sort you out. Meanwhile, I keep telling you, we have legal aid here in criminal matters, so we can sort you out from the matters. Anywhere you are, you can transfer your matters to Tice Madox Solicitors, and we will take them on and represent you in your best interests. Ladies and gentlemen, I can go further again. I can only tell you, pick up the telephone and give us a call, book an appointment. You can go to our website, ticemadox.com. You can also check us on Facebook, Tice Madox Solicitors. Add us, or go to YouTube and subscribe to our TV station, Law Simplified TV. And tweet us as well, at Tice_Madox. And you'll always be in tune and in contact with us. And it's a pleasure. Obviously, email is there. Inquiries at ticemadox.com. And on the email, you can see on your screen as well. Avenues are there to contact us. Pass the telephone number to those who need it if you don't. And you must have blessed them. Till next time I come your way, I remain Justice Maduforo, your preferred solicitor. Your time has come.
Tice Madox Solicitors. Try us. We are professional.